And by profession, I am a chartered accountant, and I passed out my CA in year 2004. Then thereafter, for 16 years, I was into job, and I worked with the top shot consulting firms, Grant Thornton, KPMG. Then in 2012, I joined a listed company, Bharti International in Delhi, in Gurgaon more particularly, and they were into manufacturing of garments, 99% export oriented unit. In 2020, I quit my job, started my own practice, and last day of my job was the first day of lockdown. So it seems like as if the entire universe conspired against me. Things went horribly wrong after that, but now it's getting better and better, better and better. And if I talk about my profile, I'm into risk assessment, internal audits. If we go by the law per se, companies having a turnover, which are listed, having a turnover of more than 200 crore rupees, and with the companies having the debt of more than 50 CR from the financial institutions, all these people need an internal auditor on their board, right? So internal auditor role is primarily to evaluate the processes of the company. So if we increase our horizon, let's say company with a turnover of 200 crores having operations or factories at 3 locations, whatever you hire, you may hire a CFO, CEO, still you need someone to look into the processes that the things are going as per the plan, right? We may not end up with buying the inventory more than the required quantity. It will stuck my working capital into that. My sales is on time, my production process is efficient. So all these process alignment we do and we report it to management. Primarily, internal auditor reports into management that the things are going as per plan. So this is one thing. From the law per se, also they need to have an internal auditor on board to manage things on behalf of CFO, CEO, MD. This is first thing which I do. Second thing is debt syndication. Somebody looking for a secure loan from banks, I can help them out by preparing the project report, licensing with the banks. I have decent connects, and I always prefer to go to public sector banks instead of the private sector. Though private sector we can also try. We can also get it done from the private sector, but certainly as a consultant, I advise to go with a public sector bank. Pretty recently, I have closed a loan of 50 CR for a steel patta manufacturing company in Delhi. These two things are my core profile, and certainly looking other than the routine CA jobs. And what categorically I'm looking for, if I could get some business from abroad, you can say US, UK, who would be willing to outsource their accounting to India, because it will be cost effective for them and we can deliver the same quality at par, meeting their guidelines. These are the three things which I primarily work into, and certainly will not disappoint you, and happy to connect to all of you to get the relevant business leads. Process advisory and audits go hand in hand. Management consultation in terms of writing the standard operating procedures. Looking into the MIS, that what information management should review every month to understand how the business is running. Actual profitability, monthly book closure, monthly preparation of accounts. Preparation they do, we help them out in streamlining the process. You can say if anything being done wrong by one person, whether intentionally or unintentionally, it could be a fraud, it could be error, but that should be caught within the process, because the work done by one person is reviewed by another person. Let's say I'm issuing a purchase order for quantity worth 1 CR, right? Now that purchase order, how it is been linked, from where the requirement has come, who has approved it. Once it is checked internally as a part of process, then things will be streamlined. So this is what I do, and happy to answer any question if you have. During my profile, I have worked for, during my job tenure with KPMG GT, I have worked for top shot consulting. You can say Hindustan Zinc, Airtel, Escorts, Agri Machinery Group, and Greenply Industries. Among the textile industry, if you talk about Abhishek Industries, and a lot of companies I have worked for during my consulting tenure. Any question?
So you have not made any presentation for us.
Yeah, I have a presentation.
So you can present that to us, and after that we can have the questions.
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
So screen share करूं मैं?
हाँ जी. I've given you the access of sharing their screen.
So this is one participant can share at a time. I have
Only you can share. You are having the authority for that.
Right. I hope that presentation is visible.
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. So this is about you can say my company, Udyant Advisors LLP. Write a brief profile about my company. We are based out in Delhi, and we comprises basically CA, MBAs, and graduates. And you can say again, we have the experience of understanding your business requirement, evaluating your solutions, and evaluating your problems and giving the solution which suits your operations. We have worked for industry across the segments: IT, commerce, fashion, textile, auto, healthcare, food, beverages, hospitality sector. And all our team members, primarily two, have worked for the big four consulting firms in past. And we have the experience of implementing the ERP as well within the system, within the organization. Right. If I talk about my services, there are three categories where we can categorize into. One is management assurance services, which comprises your, you can say, if you talk about your concerns, it could be that the processes are followed, operations are efficient, IFC from the company law compliance perspective, MIS which we are reporting every month to the management, is it accurate, profit is highlighted correctly, no expenses are hidden, there are no surprises. These could be your concerns, and that we have the right policy and compliances to all the applicable rules and regulations. We help you out in managing all this stuff through internal audits, internal controls, drafting, standard operating procedures, looking into process advisories, process improvements. This is what all we do under the management assurance services. That whatever the problem, where the management needs an assurance that the things are going as planned, we get into picture and we help you out. As per law per se, this thing is required to be done by a company having a turnover of more than 200 CR, which may or may not be a listed company, and a company having a bank debt of more than 50 CR. This is the first category for the management assurance services. Secondly, what we help out in defining the organization within that, within, you can say, reporting framework within the organization, something like organization structure, KPIs, KRAs of the management. How should we manage our funds, working capital planning, you can say, strategizing the implementation of new project, getting the loans from the banks, NBFC, private lenders, private equity. Again, though we have mentioned private equity, private lenders, but the forte is loan from the banks, secured loans, debt syndication. Third aspect that we can manage your lot of services under outsourcing arrangements, something like bookkeeping, preparation of the projections, monthly MIS, interim CFO services. Your all compliances, TDS, GST, payroll processing for you. This is what we do under outsourcing arrangement. This is brief about me, where I have worked for, where I have mentioned that I have worked for Grant Thornton and KPMG, having expertise in ERP implementation, working capital, internal audits, internal financial reporting. SOX compliance is more specific to USA-based company, financial and operating MIS. Again, among the top short clients which I have worked for: CSC Incorporation, Headstrong Incorporation, Sapient, Radico Khaitan, SCL Manufacturing, Greenply, Scott's, Mamaearth, Fortis Hospitals, India Hotels. These are the top shot clients I have worked for till date. He's my partner Vineet Kumar, again the same sort of profile, and he's also my partner Sachin Agarwal. He is into basically financial management and planning. He's an MBA background. So this is a brief about my company. Other than that, if I am to share, just give me a second. I hope that the presentation is visible.
Yes, it is very much visible.
So this is a brief that what I am talking about, arrangement of the loans for the companies, right? We deal with both public and
Yeah,
private.
the Brunda, you got your girlfriend in the backseat with her. She be like, oh, oh, and then we be playing.
So we can get it and we can manage it through public and private sector banks. If I talk about in particular project financing, if you're going for a new project and then a project report is prepared, we go to the management bankers for term loans, working capital finances, cash credit, OD, and your, you can say, if you're dealing foreign currency, that how to hedge the same, and loan against properties and the annual appraisal of limits. This is what we do in terms of loan syndication.
Excuse me, I'm sorry for interrupting, but
Amrishji, you are mute.
Just give me 1 minute.
Yeah.
I'm unmuting all. I think you can start now.
Okay. So from the debt syndication per se, we can arrange the debt, secured debt through private and public sector banks. And particularly if I see our categories of the debt, one is project financing. You are going for a new project and then you need loan for that. That could be for the machine, that could be for starting the operations. So we help you out by preparing the project report, approaching banks with your proposal, getting the loan sanctioned up to disbursement level. Second is you have a running business, or might be you need a new facility for the new project working capital management. Again, the same concept, projects, projections, and then approaching the banks for getting it done. Complete held holding throughout the process, loan against property and annual appraisal of limits. If I talk about loan syndication proposals, then what I have seen, what my experience suggests, that only the companies, you can say under the MSME segment up to 40, 50 CR, 60, 80 CR will come to us. Because if somebody has reached a state of 200 CR, they start hiring people like us on board. They will not come to us. But the companies having a turnover of 50, 60 CR, for them, it's a one-time activity. It could be a very good referral for me and I can get it done for them. Yeah, this is what I have to present. Any questions?
That's wonderful, Aditya. I think we have kept the meeting open on LinkedIn, so there's some some intentional hacking is going on. So I have removed all the unwanted people. So anyone having any questions, they can ask with Aditya. I think no question. Aditya, you can continue. Pallavi ji is having. Pallavi ji, you can ask your question. You can unmute yourself. Let me unmute you.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. It was a wonderful presentation. I just want to ask one question. So what do you have? How do you help out the startups?
Well, startups, see, Pallavi, if they initially look out for private equity funding, right? This is primarily the case. We can help them out by approaching the venture capitalist to get the private equity funding. Certainly, my experience on this part is not good till date because I have approached I have approached equity investors 3-4 times till date, but could not get it through. Second thing where we can help them out is by preparing a strategy,
Strategizing.
yeah, for their operations, for their businesses. You can say setting the processes right from day one, because smooth
Okay.
process and a process with appropriate checks and balances is of utmost important from the business success perspective. This is where we can help them out.
Okay, thank
And
you.
yeah, certainly if they have a collateral, we can definitely go to banks for the secured loans as well.
Yeah, but I am talking about the small scale industries as well. So ideally, the small people who are who are not financially very strong, they go ahead with like small industries. So in that case, do you have any plans that you can help them out in that way?
Well, small what size? Because today we are getting a CGT MSME loan up to CR, 2 CR. But even
Hmm.
in that case, we need to have some sort of creditability, some sort of past record. If it has been launched today, then getting a bank funding is very tough job. But if
No,
it has been,
I'm not talking about that. I would say there are ladies who have been ladies or not only ladies, like there are some other people who has been into like small scale industries. Like somebody might be making some watches, somebody might be making some kind of electronic gadgets and all. Somebody who I know who is making this LED bulbs,
okay,
recycle LED bulbs and all. So those people, if they want to go for a bank loan, Bangalore, is it possible? Is there any such
yeah. See,
way through which you can help you out?
possibility is there. Certainly, it depends on case to case basis. You please share the details, and definitely, if something could be done, I will explore the different bank schemes and the government schemes where we can help them out, and we can get it done if it is doable.
Okay, in personal and personal way, personally they have approached so many things. But you know, bank usually are very reluctant to give loans most of the times. That's what I have seen in many of the cases. So in that
Uh,
case, as your company, since you people are into all those things, so how do you? I mean, what is if you are helping them out, or if you are planning out something for them? So what will be your returns in that case?
that we can evaluate on case to case basis. There is nothing as such. We generally work on percentage basis, particularly in case of funding. We can
Okay.
evaluate it. Well, I cannot say something by today. Let's say if the loan size is too big, then we work even on 0.75 or 1% as well if it is through the private sector bank. If we are going to a
Okay.
public sector bank, then the cost is high because you can understand we have to manage a lot of things in that scenario.
I know.
Right. So it depends. You share the case with me and we will look into that from where we can get the funding.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And one more thing for everyone. Sorry, the meeting was not locked. And from next time, we will have the mandatory registration for the meetings. So actually, we have shared this meeting on the LinkedIn and other social network. So strangers have joined and they were using the abusive words here. So you can just ignore them and let us carry out with the next proceedings. So for the next meeting, there will be a mandatory registration process, and everyone who has registered the meeting, they will be only allowed to join the meetings.
Right.
Okay. So kindly ignore all the abusing messages that were just a part of the hackers. So for next time, it's a lesson for us. So any more questions for the Aditya ji? If there is any question, you can raise your hand and I will unmute you. Okay, no more questions. Aditya, do you have some more things to present?
No, this is what all two domains I have.
Okay, okay. So thank you.
Well,
And
certainly, I would like to say, other than these things, if somebody needs routine CA services,
okay,
right, something like income tax, GST, then there also I can help out. But that is something which I don't project generally.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So what we can do, we can introduce you with everyone because at this stage we have just begun and we are 1 month networking group right now. So we are doing one by one introductions. This webinar for just for introducing yourself with our member. So this recording will be available for the entire team members of IFBIC. And as we are coming out with some beautiful associations, so the leads will be available for everyone. And you will get connected with all registered IFBIC family members one by one. And you will be having meeting with them as well. So I will be sharing you the contact number of all the participants here. And sorry, Molly has not been able to join us because she is driving yet. So we will be having connection with her as well.
No problem. We will meet her next week.
Yeah. So some more members are there. Last time we were having 30 members. So today, 2 of our patrons are doing their own webinar. Sanjay Agarwal sir is doing his webinar, and I think Gaurav Gupta sir is also busy in his webinar. So
Okay.
2 things are there. So we will be having a meeting. Join our meeting in next time as well, because most probably Dipti Kataria ma'am will be joining us on Sunday. So that will be a good meeting as well.
Okay.
So if anyone has to ask any question, they are most welcome. And if you don't have question, I will invite Alok to conclude the entire meeting. So any more questions from any members? They can raise their hand. Okay, no more question. So Alok,
Yes.
kindly, you are most welcome. Kindly conclude the meeting. And Aditya, you can, remove the screen sharing.
Just give a second. Is it done?
Not yet. Wait just a minute. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm inviting Alok to conclude this meeting, and hope even with a few bad experiences, we are having wonderful meeting. Okay, Alok.
Yes, yes. First of all, it's a very offending thing what we got. It is a glitch. So sorry for it, and welcome on board, Mr. Aditya ji. So a journey always starts with a slow and ends with a higher pitch. I rather say in business terms.
Yeah.
So this is how a journey starts. Even a kid, cries before goes to the school, right? So let's say a crying session has already happened. Now let's focus on the alphabets, and let's make those alphabets into letters and those into a paragraph. So this is a whole, then a whole storyline is created, right? So let's focus on bits and binds,
Yeah.
because bits and binds gives us more clarity of the projections. And yes, I say that interaction in now interaction is very important in this time, because everyone is speeding up and they do not have time to think about a person, but they have a time to think always about the work. But until unless we do not know a person, we cannot think about work. So let's focus on knowing a person before we jump into numbers, figures, projects, loans, and vice versa. Also, it happens sometimes. That's why at the end we always say that I wish I would knew him, more
Yeah.
than I know him today, right? So that should not come into IFBIC. It's an open forum, and we are available. I, Molly, Amresh, especially, we are available 24 hours. Any of the problems, any of the glitch or thought or misconceptions happening, okay, please, feel free to either message or call, right? We are there to support 24 into 7, okay, such that there should not be a misunderstanding, uh, between each other. There should not be a misunderstanding between understanding a person at the initial stage, as this IAPIC is a very new chapter, right? So we are speeding up in our way, right? But that speed is between, just few of us. But at the end of the day, you just see people adding on, right? So after he crosses 100 or 200 people, right? So this bonding will give us the future, trust and possibilities that okay, Mr. Aditya can do this work. I just have to assign him, so I don't have to worry, right? So this has to be there, before we become a big, organization, I'd rather say. So this is an understanding phase of now. So let's understand each other. Who knows? You have the more extra qualities than you being NCA, and you can help people in a different note. Uh, of you making them understand as well, because of experience. Everyone is experienced in their own genres. Let's share our experiences. You know, uh, towards a goal of success. I rather say money will come by itself if the goal is if we know how to figure out how to goal it. So money is a kind of a thing that it comes always a secondary for a businessman. And so let's focus on understanding. Once that understanding is done, we can chunk lots of money, right? So money is money's factor is a very difficult factor, where the trust building comes first. Always we say that we should trust before we even give a single line of projects, for
Yeah.
especially for startups I'm talking about. Because if I'll share my pitch, right? Who knows, that can be shared to somewhere else, because I will not know that where is your contacts going on, right? So let's build that trust that if we share something very confidential, still it's gone for a better hand, right? So with this note, I would like to close the meeting, and everyone should have a blessed uh, morning and afternoon, as it's Sunday. So sorry for disturbance for in the early mornings, but it's always to start with a fresh. So as you also started, Mr. Aditya, so let's enroll it, okay, for the future endeavors as well. Not for today, not for tomorrow, and not for for a year. It should be for the future, such that if a CA comes in mind, that your name should come. Okay, so I would always say that build an extra character to character sketch to build something different than what others are doing, right? So let's focus on that as well. So I would request everyone to join next week. So a small time makes our time very precious. So with this note, I would like to conclude the meeting. Over to you, Amresh.
And thank you, Alok. Thank you for concluding a meeting. And most probably next time we will be having a very big associations on the board. So
Great.
3 to 4 MNCs will be there, and from we are right now 100 plus members. The profiles have not been updated, but by this month we will be having a team of 1,000 plus members. Most probably more than 10,000 members will be joining us on the board. But we are saying it
Perfect.
1,000 because we have to keep updating the data of everything, and we are updating our websites. You will be having your dashboard, and once the members who are interested in getting connected with you, they will send you the message request, and once you are approving their message request, you will get connected with them directly through our website. So you don't have to call us, you don't have to take any permission. You have to take the permission from our members. If both of you are interested in getting connected through our platform, you can connect it directly through the website. So that is the things we are working on, and our website will be updated within 45 days, and in 45 days you will have our own video chat applications, our own audio chat applications, and every interactions can be done through websites. You will get the list of Zoom meetings, you will get the list of webinars and other physical meetings that we will be conducting. So you will get the notifications for everything. So thank you, everyone. It was a wonderful session with Mr. Aditya Kumar Gupta, and hope if you have any requirements for the CA works or whatever he has shared with us, you will get connected with him, and whatever things you want to present and whatever things you want to bring. His services or his associations will be fruitful for you. And even Aditya ji, we hope that you get a wonderful collaborations through our team. Thank you. Thank you for presenting and welcome to the IFBIC family.
Thanks, Amrish. Thanks,
And
Alok.
Amresh, I would like to add one more thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Aditya ji, it will be very nice of you that if you would start thinking for a people of who have just startup. Startup is booming in India, right? So, like we get numerous projects, right? But we are not been able to give you because of your, specific structures, right? So if you can work on that, I guess it will be a very nice thing, okay? Such that at least in a week we can give you one or two, startup projects where you can evaluate by yourself, because maximum of them are youngsters and they do not have much funds, okay? So slowly, even we are trying our best to, their maximum VCs are there with us, right? So still, we did not yet disclosed about all that, right? So once they are on board, you will start getting those people, okay, and start going for a deep learning, okay, with them, such that you will have a correct idea that how will your, let's say, how will your role will be added more values to, startup, right? Because maximum people are into startups, and whatever the loans of let's say 50 cr or 100 cr, right? They'll connect with you directly in a different way, as you know, right?
Yeah.
So they do not share this on the open platform, right? But they always come to the back channel, right? So that comes a very different profiling of yours is there, where everything is not set, okay? It is always through back channel and one-to-one talk, right? If someone has a discussion now also, right, a person will not share anything. Always try to get connected with people, okay, where you think that it's making
Alok, we
your.
can talk this thing personally, not on the
Mhm.
public platform, because we are going
So
public right now.
so let's please, it's a request that you uh you focus on startups especially,
Right.
okay? So okay, over to you.
So thank you. It was a wonderful meeting. And next time, the registration will be mandatory. And now we have decided that we are not going to open our meetings for the strangers. Only registered IFBIC members or honorary IFBIC members and the patrons will be able to join the meetings. And the meetings will not be shared on the social networks. The entire details will be shared to our members individually, and only they can join. So we will make the posters. We will share the IDs of Zoom as well, but registration will be mandatory and the meeting will be opened only for the IFBIC members. No matter what type of members they are. We have some honorary members as well, and even for the some we have got call from the beautiful idea creators that they are not able to afford the membership fee for the IFBIC. So we are coming up with the incubation program. In that incubation program, we will be giving 3 months time to the those such types of members who are not able to afford the membership fee. We will see that what type of vital role they are playing for the growth of IFBIC. If they are playing a good role, we will certainly enroll in them as a incubity in IFBIC. And if their work or if their participation is not making any sense for us, we will just stop their services or serving them after 3 months. So that's the program we are having for such types of people or such types of startups. And this is how we can support to any startups at beginning stage. So thank you, everyone. It was wonderful meeting one time again. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Alok. Thank you, Kabir Saxena ji. Thank you, Manish Agrawal sir, Paddy, Dhruv Rawal sir, Raj Kashyap ji, and Ujjwal Bhattacharya. It was a wonderful meeting and hope we meet next Sunday with new speaker, new introduction. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks.